Welcome. Thank you for the first and the check-in for the daily check-in. We are live on Twitch and TikTok. So tonight I'm doing something, and it's gonna go forward as going forward, I should say, for Thursdays being my Tech Talk. So we're going to just make this Tech Talk Thursday podcast. We're going to be just doing this, going over some tech news that's been happening over a week span or so, and then talking about, anything tech related. Talking about also going, about Danger Zone PCs and repair. All that good stuff. I hope to maybe do guest speakers, all that stuff to join in the podcast and chat, and doing an excellent job of bringing some entertainment to the group and community here. So I also just wanted to go over a couple other things here before we get into it. We greatly appreciate it for everybody that does join in and hangs out and is here to listen and all that other good stuff. Definitely supports the channel big time, and let's keep going with it. So, first off, topics of the night. So, for this episode, we're going to be definitely going over some things as such. Corsair kicks things up a notch in their storage department and everything. Then we're going to go over best CPU for gaming in 2024. AMD Ryzen 7 5700X 3D is now only $229. We're going to go over some pre-Memorial Day sales for 2024. And then we're going to go over best SSDs in 2024 from Budget SATA to Blazing Fast NVMe's. And then I'm also going to go with that topic, I'm also going to go into helping people understand the read and write speeds, because a lot of people are spending more money on stuff they're probably not going to end up using other than the size of storage. So that's something else to be looking into, but I'll get into that once we get to that topic. Next topic we'll be going over is Golden Pig squeals on AMD's Zen 5 lineup, reveals 10-core Strix Point. That guy has been definitely someone that does these leaks and data mines, and his accuracy to be true is huge. But again, like all rumors and leaks, we take it with a grain of salt, but get excited at the same time in this tech world, even for movies for that matter. Next would be the CPU price index for 2024, as prices are going down, seeing that Intel and AMD are also prepping to announce their stuff at Computex next month. Then it's Intel's next-gen desktop CPUs have been reportedly leaked. Hint, hint. And AMD takes CPU market share from Intel in desktops and servers. Intel issues official statement on Core K-series crashes. AMD's new Ryzen AI rebranding for Zen 5 comes to light per Asus leak. And then user claims RTX 4090 16-pin power connector melted on GPU and PCU side despite running at 75 power. That was a weird topic right there at 75 power. Whatever the case is, we're going to deep dive into that one towards the end of those topics on the links I have for those articles. I also wanted to make some announcements for Danger Zone PCs and repair. I did adjust the pricing and services and all that good stuff. I did put it all into the Discord, so if you're not a part of the Discord, feel free to message me. I do have everything in there, so if you need to join the Discord and you're on TikTok and you haven't been invited yet, please shoot me a private message and I will send you the link to my Discord so you can submit a ticket, get tech support, and get the latest news and all that good stuff, and deals on Amazon if you go to my Amazon affiliate link. appointment creating, I also want to go over that as well, and consulting such as builds. Um, People ask me to what's best. Is my build list good? Does this look good, or what can I do for adjustments? Because it does take time out of my day to do that and look it up. As much as I love doing this kind of stuff, it does come with a price. Unfortunately, I can't just take away my time that I could be with my kids or with spending time with my wife, whatever the case is. Typically, this is my time away from all that to be able to have fun and hang out with you guys. I also want to go over some how this podcast is going to work. I kind of just did it in the intro here, but I also want to, again, with the guest speakers, get buddies on here, talk about their rigs, maybe get you guys involved and get you guys on here and talk about your guys' rigs and your battle stations overall, and what are your opinions on certain hardwares, or what do you take, or what do you believe makes your computer faster and performance wise? Do you think it's the GPU and the CPU, or do you think it's just a single piece of hardware? Which brings me into the beginning topic, actually. So, this happened at work today. I work in IT, if you guys don't know. I got into a debate with my boss about CPUs. And particularly on the Intel side, because that's what we were on, because we have a couple work machines that are pretty beefy. Just add a graphics card and you have yourself a great entry level gaming PC. But I'll get into that a little bit later if you ask, and drop a comment if you want to know. So, so I was going over that system that we're doing for a client, and his whole thing is because he talked to an older client a few years ago, I guess, that used to work for Intel, and he was at the waffle, the maker. So essentially, the chips, making the chips and CPUs. They're all the same, is what we're being told, or what he was told. They're all the same. Because they're grown, they're grown, and then they're leveled and checked for voltages and whatever the case is of how many clock speeds or what they're rated at, which tells them if it's a i3, 5, 7, or 9. Okay, makes kind of a little bit of sense there. But even though they're all the same chip, if they're being rated at a certain voltage or rated like that chip, okay, this section right here is only putting out this much voltage and clock speed, okay, so then that's going to be the i3, and then the one's going to be 5, 7, and 9, right? Okay, well, if that's the case, then where's the performance coming from, and all that good stuff? Like, where am I going with this? Sorry, I'm rambling, but to make sense of this, he believes that from him being told by the Intel employee or past Intel employee that they're all the same, there is no performance gain. All performance is strictly from your storage drive, which that is also true. Your speed in your PC, your performance wise, to become fast or whatever the case is comes down to your storage and a little bit of your RAM. But take this into account, we see, and this could also just be hype, and this is what he calls hype as well. You fall for the hype when you go, oh, I got this i9, I'm putting out this many cores, blah, 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 blah. You can say all this all day long, so I'm 50-50 in my opinion. So I believe that they're all definitely the same, and they're rated at a certain tier and whatnot, and that's what they market as. But I have seen same gen chip, right? If you were to put let's just go for argument's sake, 12th gen. Okay, we're going to go with Intel 12th gen from i3 to i9. There's definitely a performance gap in a sense, but if they're the same chip, they should all get the same performance, correct? So if you were to get an i3 at 3.8 megahertz or gigahertz clock speed, right? And then you have the i9 at 3.8 gigahertz clock speed. Essentially, you're getting the exact same performance. You're just paying more premium for the other, because that's how it's marketed. I get that, and I see that a lot with a lot of tech companies. That does make sense. Even AMD probably has, does it as well. But now here's the thing: gaming wise, you're not going to utilize, honestly, all those cores in performance wise. I understand that, and I agree with that. But let's take gaming out of the picture completely. Let's take out your regular processing workstation at work, but let's go with movie editing, 3D rendering, content creation. Okay, I believe, and I've seen a YouTuber, I forget what their name is right now, but he does performance, and he has a base rig. The only thing he does is he'll either swap out a certain piece of hardware that he's doing benchmarks on. Otherwise, the system is what the system is. So if you were to just break it down with only Intel, take AMD out of the picture, and just do the Intel benchmarks, if you were to add them up, what's the difference in performance? You know, when you're rendering a clip, let's say a 15-second clip, how much frame drop are you going to receive compared, let's just go with an i5 to a i9. So, long story short, with that being said, I am now tasked, and I'll probably end up doing it on here as well to give you some screen time here, but I've been tasked to build an Intel computer that within a reasonable price that is strictly made for content creation. So it's just video rendering. He's told me we're going to build this thing, and I'm going to install DaVinci Resolve because it's freeware. And it's a great editing software too. And with that being said, I got to get an i5 and an i9. I'm going to definitely go with 12th gen just because the fact that 13th and 14th gen right now are still pricey and they've been having some issues, which we will get into. But I'm tasked to do this, and I'm really excited. I'm keeping an open mind, because I'm 50-50 with the whole thing. Gaming-wise, I can say, yeah, I'm 100%. It's your storage, in all honesty, that actually gives you that speed and your frame rates, along with your GPU a little bit. But when it comes to video editing, I think there's more to it with all your hardware as one. You know what I mean? So this system's going to have this. We're going to just do this straight up, just 2 CPUs and 1 solid build. So we can have the LGA 1700 socket on a 12th gen system, and then go from there. We're going to see what we can do and come up with what is the results. What is that percentage? Is there a gap of percentage between i5 and i9 when it comes to video editing and 3D rendering? Now, we're not going to do 3D rendering because we don't have the software and all that, but video editing, is there going to be a huge gap in performance? Is it going to be a 2 to 3%, maybe even 4% performance boost, or is it going to be 10, 12, which is what I'm looking for? I'm looking for, honestly, like a 9 to 14%, in my opinion, over the i5 when you throw into the i9. So we're going to look into that. We're going to build that system. He hopes that if I get this thing put together, and then we order the parts and then build it and then do these tests just to prove his point. Now, again, I'm not against his point. I want to make that clear. I just think when it comes to video editing, it does make sense that the CPU does give you better performance. I think as a whole, it's just that. And it definitely comes down to the CPU and the RAM and the GPU and the motherboard and the storage. There's a lot to it when it comes to video editing. It's very meticulous. It's very precise with everything you're doing. And then the processing power that has to go behind it. So if I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong, and I will admit that right then and there and be okay. What I've seen on YouTube from a reliable source, I believe, in my opinion. Um, you know, maybe just overplaying it. Yes, these YouTubers from on the tech side of the world are, they'll promote anything as if they're, especially if they're getting sponsored. But a lot, this guy I like, he's very down to earth. He's very straightforward and blunt. Even though he may like that piece of hardware, even software for that matter, even if he really likes it, he will give an honest opinion on their faults, pros and cons. He looks at both sides of the book, so that's what's great. And doing this little experiment, I'm really excited, and I really do want to. Hopefully, I won't be able to necessarily stream it or anything like that, but I'll try to record it via phone, and then I'll post it maybe to YouTube or something. Um, that way, everybody else can see it and see what the results are, and I'll definitely take pictures. I will report on it. Like, this is what the outcome was, but I'm really excited for this. I am really excited for this little project at work because it's going to prove a point. Does it really matter what CPU you get? You know, I mean, a lot of you got gamers out there. Don't get me wrong, I'm a gamer as well, but a lot of us, looked, and I see a lot of this also on Facebook groups, but will game and think they have to have a i9 or a Ryzen 9 CPU just to get the best gaming performance. You know what I mean? Now, AMD knows what they're doing when they came out with the X3D variants of chips, right? And that you definitely see because it has that extra 3D or L3 cache. So it gives you that extra bump in performance, FPS wise. But how much is it? So, I mean, think about it. Let's put it in a price point. You know, let's say, just giving a random number for debating, let's say the 12 i5 12th gen 12500 is 140. Okay, we're just gonna say it's 140, and then the i9 12900 is 300. Okay. Now look at the difference in price, and then check and see your performance. Like, what's the performance gap? Is it really worth? Are you getting a 3% bonus in performance, or what? Like, what is that difference? Is it that percentage in that of difference in performance? Is it worth the difference in price? So that's what this whole project is going to be about, and to prove, like, you guys or us as a community in the tech world with these computers, are we just overspending just to say, hey, I got that i9, I got that Ryzen 9, that Ryzen 9, you know? What's up, Paradox? Thank you for joining on the Twitch side. But yeah, the science experiment is going to definitely be more so pushed to see that performance gap. Is there that big of a performance gap? Is there really the need to spend that premium to have the i9 or Ryzen 7, or Ryzen 9, even 7s in their series? But it's whatever the case is, are you able to just get away with an i5 and call it a day, or a Ryzen 5 and call it a day? They're all great CPUs, don't get me wrong. Thank you for the check-in as well, Paradox. They're all going to be, apparently the same thing. So, with that being said, it comes down to that performance gap and that price difference. Is it worth it or not? So, again, I'm really excited to see what the outcome is going to be next week. If we get all the parts and it's built and we're able to get it tested within that time frame. Otherwise, it'll be the following week. But either way, we're going to do this test and we're going to have some fun with it. and I'll share the build and everything in my Discord, Facebook, all that good stuff, and so on and so forth. All right. So prices and services that I'm providing, I do want to go over that. I'll just drag this over here real quick. So I did adjust. If you're in Discord or on my Facebook page for Danger Zone PC and Repair, my prices and services I changed. Obviously, I took into account here that yes, I work out of home when it comes to this side of things on the side for you guys to provide these services, and because I have the hardware to do it, I have the means to be able to test computers and see what's wrong with them and know the knowledge to be able to help you either upgrade, build, or fix your computer if need be. So I adjusted my hourly rate to $75 to be competitive. Um, a lot are very competitive, but not overcharged because what else am I paying for? I mean, yes, it's to help me financially as well and keep this my little business growing, but at the same time, I'm working at a home. I don't have a designated actual workshop. I don't have all that stuff. It's just what I got here at home. So what I'm able to, make here just as doing this for you guys is to me is going to be great. So I do hope, $75 an hour is, I think, a very, very competitive price. A lot of people around are charging, more than that, but because they have the means to be able to charge that much, which is very understandable. Um, Now, others, flat rate pricing, like drive clones for certain size drive it is, it's all stayed the same. The PC builds is still minimum of 2 hours, so you would have to pay the 2 hours. So if I got to remove a motherboard, that's even if I'm upgrading or replacing a part, such as the motherboard, where I have to take that whole thing out and put a new one back in. That is still considered a build, but that's only 2 hours minimum at $150 for that 2 hours. Now, if it goes over that because there's a lot more to it, I would obviously tell you. Backups, subscriptions, that's all the same. House call, if that's the same, that's me going out to you and trying to do it at your home, and trying to fix it. And that's $125 minimum, which I left the same. Team viewer support at that you can that's just there for now because that is something I definitely want to provide service wise eventually, because not all the time am I going to be able to come out to you guys, but that would also be able to help me help anybody that is further within my means of driving, um, and all that good stuff. Stress and benchmark tests, it's $25 flat. That's just me going over everything that's such as anything like Cinebench, 3D Mark, all that good stuff, just to see what your gaming computer is at. So if you physically physically upgraded or just built your own system at home, but you don't want to get into the okay, what's my computer really doing, like benchmark wise, did I do a good job on this? That's where I come in and help you out. It's a little weird that most people won't take that, but I take it because there are people out there that just don't understand how a benchmark works or testing works. And then the OS reloads, it's 150 because it's 2 hours labor with no programs, or it's just the OS and data only. If it's anything more than 50 gigs of data, that's another additional hour. And then me doing virus scans, all that's $50 an hour. And then building consulting is just $15. So if you ask me, hey, how does my build look, or how does this build look, that's $15 that I'm requiring just because I'm taking my time away. You know what I mean? And that to me makes sense. So and then we go to remote support, phone call, or Discord support. That's going to be, if it's 30 minutes, $25 minimum. If it's in 1 hour, $50. Additional $100 minimum per hour on top of the $50 for the first hour. That is reasonable because again, that's time taken away, and I'm at home. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, message me, drop comments, whatever the case is. Now, to get into some topics here, I'm going to go over. Open this bad boy up. Start with the Corsair. One sec, just letting it load up real quick. It's Tom's Hardware that I got all these links from. Oh, wrong one. All right, there we go. No, I don't want to subscribe to that. Sorry. So, Corsair MP700 Pro SE SSD review. New and improved. So they're doing their 5th gen SSD. Apparently, Corsair's 2nd generation PCIe 5.0 SSD NVMe. This time making full use of the interface. It's faster, and Corsair offers multiple SKUs to keep everybody happy. But the drive breaks no new barriers. So, pros, top-notch all-around performance. Okay, we all know that. Good sustained write performance, which we all love. And multiple SKUs. Cool. High power consumption is a con. And high cost. Well, that's not too great right there. Already a no-no for me for sure. Definitely compared to other things. So, it looks like the pricing, and this is for the 2 terabyte, it's going to be Bear or Hydro for the variants, but the pricing for 2 terabytes is $354.99. But again, keep in mind, this is a 5th gen PCIe by 4 NVMe. So, and then you have DRAM is 4 gigs, LPDDR4. Flash memory is 232 layer Micron TLC. The read speed, is 14,000 megabits per second. And write speeds is 12,000 megabits per second. And then random reads is 1700K IOPS, and then write is 1600K IOPS. I mean, warranty's 5. Cool, 5-year warranty, because these things do run very hot. Definitely 2 terabytes for almost $400 is a no-go for me. You know, I mean, I go with Crucial, Team Group, Samsung, and all them, but Corsair, as much as I love their hardware, it's just, I don't think, $400 is just not ideal at all. And then their 4 terabyte is ranging, and they got three variants for their 4 terabyte. You got the Bear, the HS, and the Hydro. Okay. So the Bear is going to be $634.99 for 4 terabyte. Then the HS, they don't know yet. That there's no price for that one. And then the Hydro is $654.99. What the hell? And you're only getting the exact same, obviously. The read and write speeds are going to be the same. You know, same warranty. But it baffles me, you know. Again, here goes with the premium price. You know, what are you paying for? You can get the same performance, if not better, or same amount of storage and a little bit less performance, or read and write speeds, I should say, for cheaper. You know, because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's worse than the guy that you're paying $700 for. You know what I mean? So I don't agree with that pricing scheme, but again, we are paying for the name at that point, and it being a fifth generation NVMe. So that is a no go for me if I were to actually buy that. How much power? It's actually high power. I mean, let me pull that up. Why did I close it out actually? Uh, I mean, you're looking at. That's a security industrial. Where did I just see it? I just lost where it was. High power consumption. I mean, okay, so if I remember right, my Gen 4, because I have Gen 5, the Samsung Hybrid 990 Pros, and yeah, the read and write speeds are cut almost damn near in half from the regular Gen 5, but they're really nice, soft or nice hardware. And I think it's only pushing out. I think those ones are only pushing out. Shoot, how much are they pushing out wattage wise? Shoot, I drew a blank on it there. Holy shit. That's not good. Okay, so it's looking like they're topping out at around 12 watts of power. That's a lot for an NVMe. 12 watts. Did a big. Oh, I'm hearing two. Oh, yep, there it is. All right, I fixed it. Thank you. Oh, wait, you're home. Are you home? Thanks for the posture check and stretch. Oh, I do smell the food now. I'm a little congested for some fucking reason. I smells the food. Oh, I gotta hydrate. Alright. Now let's move on to the next topic. The best CPU for gaming in 2024. Well, that should be obvious. That should be very obvious. So, Tom's hardware picks are. Where's the list? Okay. So, I'm going to start from best overall. So, I'm just going to go down the list that they got right here. So, best CPU for gaming in 2024 as of right now. Overall, best CPU for gaming is at the marginal price of $350 to $400. Okay. It is AMD's Ryzen 7 7800X3D. Obviously, because the L3D cache that they're getting, but it's an amazing CPU. I mean, AMD has been proving their gaming CPUs are way better. Alternate, if you were to get something equivalent, is Intel's Core i7 14700K. This is what they're saying. Now, best value CPU for gaming, $200 to $250, is the AMD Ryzen 5 7600X. I do agree with that. I mean, that is a very solid 6-core, 12-thread CPU, and it's been proven day in, day out that it can perform. And the alternate buys for this is because remember now AMD's 7000 series is on an AM5 platform. So here's the alternate: is the Core i5 13th Gen 13400 non-K, and then Ryzen 7 5700 X3D. That one's on an AM4 platform. So, but still, puts out all that great performance. And the Ryzen 7 5700 X3D is an 8-core, 16-thread CPU in comparison. But seeing that, being able to compare to a best value AM5 processor is pretty huge. So if on a budget, if for a gaming PC, a Ryzen 7 5700 X3D is not bad. Highest performance best CPU for gaming. This is $500 and up. Best one is the AMD Ryzen 9 7950 X3D. Again, L3D cache, obviously. Alternate one to try to possibly match it, even for price and a little bit maybe equivalent performance, is the i9 13900K. I can agree with that. Mid-range is $250 to $300. This one, Intel takes the crown on this one, and it goes with the i5 13600K. And the alternate one is on an AM4 platform with Ryzen 7 5800 X3D. Now, you could also do the 5700 X3D because the performance difference is literally like 1.5%. 1 second, guys. Let me take a break. Real quick. I'll be right back.
There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, But we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor.
Alright, I'm back. Oh, hey, yeah, you know what? There was no entrance music, was there? Get that going again. Okay, back live on TikTok. Sorry about that. It looks like it dropped after I left on pause after 5 minutes. Welcome back, guys, on Twitch. I got my dinner here. Chicken and rice with a little bit of Parmesan garlic sauce. Where were we? Yes. So, we did the mid-range, now budget best CPU for gaming. Now this is like budget. It is Intel with the header on this, and it's the Core i3-12100F. And then your alternate choice is on the AM4 platform with the Ryzen 5 5600 non-X. And then entry-level best PC iGPU, so this is with integrated graphics, is the Ryzen 5 8600G. That is the new APU that they have had released back in February. Really, really nice CPU, or APUs, I should say. And then the alternate is on the AM4 platform, because the 8000 series is AM5. But AM5 alternate, or AM4, sorry, alternate APU is the Ryzen 5 5600G, which is good, but in my opinion, I think, because you can't really find the G anymore, it's now the GT. so it's more so a little bit of the overclocked version of it that they revamped. Because I have in my workstation, I have the Ryzen 5 5500 GT, which is pretty much essentially the same performance as the 5600G. But that sets that for that. I guess this would also end up playing in, well, does this actually truly make sense for the performance in dollar? Go to the next topic, Discord. Where'd you go? Here we are. The deals. You know what? Yeah. So we'll go into the pre-Memorial Day sales for 2024, saving on gaming laptops, CPUs, monitors, and more. So quick links that are even provided here, and then I'll go through what some of the deals that are going on right now. This was also published 2 days ago, this article, so this is just early stuff. This is not the official okay, this is going to be the way it is until after Memorial Day, so keep that in mind. Newegg has up to 60% off pre-built PCs, CPUs, monitors, and more. That's on Newegg. Amazon, save up to 40% on tech deals. Best Buy has up to $300 off laptops, monitors, and more. Dell, and this is on Dell's website, and it may carry over to Amazon, maybe. I'm not too sure. But up to $700 off gaming PCs, so off their gaming PCs if you're doing pre-builds. Lenovo, save up to 70% on a new Lenovo laptop. HP is save over $50 on HP, HyperX, Omen, or Victus in the loot drop sale. The only thing out of HP I would ever recommend is the HyperX hardware. That's about it. Would never recommend a computer or printer by HP. Walmart, summer savings on gaming tech. Literally just all it says. Cool. Walmart for the win, guys. Walmart for the win. And this one looks to be at Best Buy. This is an Asus VivoBook Pro 16. So this is a Chromebook, as I would believe. Nope. They rebranded. So this laptop here is now $14.99 at Best Buy. Was $19.99. This powerful laptop features an NVIDIA RTX 4070 graphics card, Intel Core i9-13980HX CPU with 16 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD. And then has a 120 hertz OLED screen with its 3200 by 2000 resolution. Ooh. How cool. For $14.99, I mean, that's not too bad. You get a 4070 out of the deal and an i9 CPU. So, next one. This one's at P&H Photo. It's Lenovo, and I would recommend not getting this. In general, don't get a Lenovo gaming PC at all. I don't fucking do it. I worked on one, and because they make their own motherboards, and yeah, it was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had. Not that you can get around their hardware, it's just a pain in the ass. But this one is going for $14.99, and it was $26.89. That's huge. It's a huge discount right there. So if you are trying to get yourself into PC gaming and that's in the price range and no one else seems to be on, that same level pricing wise, you could go with this. I mean, it has the i7 13th gen 13700KF, the 12 gig NVIDIA RTX 4070 Ti, It also has some other specs of 32 gigs of RAM and another terabyte SSD. Cool. I mean, for what it is, the Legion T7 gaming desktop, for what it is, it has the hardware, just their motherboard, their case, it's just not. The functionality out of it is not there, in my opinion. Like, there's so much more you could do to make it better, and they just dropped the ball on that. Oh, so if anybody's looking for a 49-inch Samsung Odyssey OLED G9, they're originally, and this is on Amazon, originally was $15.99. Right now, $9.99. So $1,000, guys, for a 49-inch widescreen curved monitor at 240 hertz refresh rate. Lowest price ever. And they're also including the Samsung discounted it by the $100 thanks to a coupon. So they're putting Amazon's putting their own discount on top of Samsung's already $100 discount coupon. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So if you have the money for $1,000 monitor, go for it. All right, this one's Newegg. This is a RTX for a gigabyte RTX 4070 gaming overclocked V2. Was $619, now it's $539 on Newegg. That's honestly not bad, but for 12 gigs of VRAM, in all honesty, take out ray tracing, which is irrelevant anyways. Go get yourself a 7700 for what, $100 cheaper or so, something like that. If not more, yeah, I'm pretty sure more than that. So yeah, definitely do that. On Amazon right now, Ryzen 7. This is on AM4 platform. Is the Ryzen 7 5700 X3D for $299 on Amazon. Was $249, so it's $30 off right now. That is good. That is good for the 8-core CPU. So honestly, that is a very good buy. I think it could go down another $30 and be a flat 200 in my opinion, but that is not a bad price for what it is. Oh, Katie needs medicine. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry. I will be right back.
There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on.
Alrighty, I'm back. I'm back. Alright, this one's another Amazon deal, which was $299, now at $239. A Lexar 4TB NVMe SSD. 4 terabytes. That's huge. And it is a Gen 4 with read and write speeds of 7400 and 6500 megabits per second, respectively. And a 3000 TBW. That is a very good deal. For a 4 terabyte NVMe 4th gen, that is a very good deal at $239 right now instead of $300. A very good deal. And then the Red Dragon, this is another Amazon deal for $31, was $54, is the Red Dragon K585 DITI one-handed mechanical gaming keyboard with the wrist rest, detachable as well if you want. And it's not wireless, so that's cool. It has micro keys. It's pretty cool. So if you're just strictly gaming, I mean, that's kind of cool if that's something you're into. I'm actually going to snag a couple of these Amazon, and I will drop them in the comments below, and you guys can go check it out. So, like, for instance, that Envy Me, I'll even throw it in the Discord. As well. So many places. Thank you guys for joining. Great to have you guys around. Alright, I just did the Envy Me for now. I can always do everything else later. Let's get Discord back up, and going to TikTok. Next is SSDs. SATA and Envy Me. Okay, so it appears. Quick shopping tips. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, don't want that. Get out of there. All right. So best SSDs in 2024 at a glance. Best overall M.2 SSDs. You're looking at the Samsung 990 Pro. It has the best read-write speeds, especially on a Gen 4. I own the hybrid ones. I love it. 5,000 read and write speeds. I have two of them. I have one in my workstation, and I have one in my gaming rig. It's perfect. I mean, 5,000 megabits a second read and write is perfect for gaming. Do I utilize all that? Honestly, no. Unless I'm doing a benchmark, that's the only time, at least on my gaming rig. If I'm doing video editing on my workstation, then yes, my data transfers and stuff like that, I'm going to be utilizing every little bit of that I can. That makes sense. So we got to remember that, and I'll get into that topic in a few minutes. But alternate drive for best overall is the Western Digital Black SN850X. That's another great one. I think that's at 70. It's honestly the same read and write speeds for against the Samsung 990 Pro. But again, price to performance. Do you really care about a little bit of a gap when it comes to read and write speeds? Or would you rather pay more for that little bit of difference? You know what I mean? So people got to take that into account. The fastest SSD is the Crucial T705, which is a 5th gen. And then the alternate is the Sabrent Rocket 5. Best M.2 for laptops is the Crucial T500 Gen 4 M.2. And the Rocket 4 Sabrent is the alternative option. Best budget M.2, and I will say this every time, and I agree with this one, is the Crucial P3 Gen 4, and you can get in Gen 3 M.2 SSD. And then for best SSD for PS5, if for you console gamers, is the AdLink A93. And then best SSD for Steam Deck and mobile, these are your little 2230 size, so just the nubs. Actually, I have one right here. So it'd be about that size, the 223 or 2230, sorry. That you could throw into your little mobile or your Steam Deck. Is the Sabrent Rocket 2020 or 2230. I gotta talk right. Now, let me go over a couple things about the understanding of your storage devices. Granted, we all know a spin disk hard drive is a no-go Absolutely a no-go. Um, the only time I recommend people use a spin disk hard drive is only, and I mean only, when you are doing workstation stuff as such as holding on to data, doing data backups. It's just a good way of storing that stuff. Or if you have servers, using them in RAIDs, that is fine. They're meant to. A NAS hard drive is meant to go through that. Now you can get a 2.5-inch SSD and do the same thing, and yeah, you'll have way better read and write speeds and better performance in that sense. So if you're going from a 3.5-inch hard drive spin disk and transferring it over, upgrading to a 2.5-inch SSD SATA drive, I highly recommend it every day. I will also recommend going from SATA 2.5-inch to an NVMe, because there's that huge performance gap in read and write speeds. But now, if you're only gaming, I mean gaming, that's it. That is all you are doing. You can get as many terabytes as you want for storage, by all means. Your read and write speeds, no game will utilize more than most likely 3,500 megabits per second of read and write. That is it. That is absolutely all it's honestly going to be able to do. Now you could try to put that to the test and be like, well, no, I got 4,000. Yeah, you probably did. You might get 4,000. But it also depends on the game for that. You're not going to be 100%. I'm just sorry. I'm telling the truth here. It's just not going to happen. It has been proven countless times. That's why most games are not really optimized towards an NVMe. Now, more modern games might be, such as Starfield is one of them. It's even in the specs if you go to Steam and you can read it as a required step. But overall, you're not going to use any more than that. You will not. You don't need it, is what I'm also trying to say. Is you don't need to spend that money on a faster drive for your games. You don't. Now, don't put it on a spin disk hard drive, obviously. You don't need to put it on a 2.5-inch SATA drive, but you can if you want. Performance is still going to be there. You're not going to gain much performance, essentially, But your NVMe, if you do it, don't go any further than a Gen 3, Gen 4. Yeah, you can get a Gen 5, but again, remember, when you're utilizing that for gaming, you're not going to beat that 3,500 or even maybe pushed 4,000 megabits a second. You're just not. I mean, sorry that I bring in reality there, but a lot of us gamers, people in this community seem to think it's okay to be like, yeah, I got this fastest damn drive, and yeah, I'm utilizing. You're not utilizing. Tell me where you saw you utilizing every bit of that read and write performance. Otherwise, you just spent more money than you should have. Think about it. And my whole thing is about my Danger Zone 2 thing is I want to provide a service where I can help you guys realize you're not spending more money where you don't need it. You don't need to. Spend it where it belongs. And that's another reason why I'm doing that science project pretty much and challenge with my boss, because it's going to put in perspective for everyone, even myself and even maybe himself, does the CPU matter if it's an i3, 5, 7, or 9? Same thing for Ryzen. 5, 7, or 9. Which one is honestly better, if anything? Now Ryzen's X3D, we all know, is better in gaming. By all means, it is. Just because the L3 cache that is there. Now, standard CPUs, again, that's the project, okay? But I'm not going to keep going back into that, even though I'm really excited for it, but I'm not going to keep going back in. Put in the comments, message me. What are your thoughts on that whole thing? Do you believe that you're going to get that performance boost? Is it really worth spending $100 and something dollars, $200 and something dollars more, even maybe $300 more than getting a Ryzen 5 or i9 or i5 or i3 compared to a higher end? Tell me. Tell me if you actually believe there's actually more performance than just 5%. And show me the proof. That way I can also provide that proof, that actual proof, to my boss showing, hey, this is what the actual percentage in performance is compared to the same generation of CPUs, same generations, same hardware, just different CPU of that generation. You can prove that, bring that information to me and prove it so I can show my boss. But going forward, what else do we have? I know there was more topics, but I really don't want to keep going into this stuff. The market share, we all knew AMD was going to take over in desktops and servers. AMD's just been pushing it. Intel's been falling off. I mean, you have the that issue with the motherboards that they're sticking to their official statements with their K-series crashes is due to the motherboards and all that, but I don't think that's the case necessarily. I think, yeah, it stemmed from the motherboards, but I think after their BIOS updates that they were been releasing, it's more so that they screwed with the performance of the CPU itself, you know, and it's just not able to handle it. And then you have the RTX 4090s 16-pin melting connectors. It's been an ongoing issue. Sorry, I'm a little stuffed up here. And I'm eating. But have any of you watching this, comment down below, whatever the case is, had a melting power cable? And what'd you do? Like, what did the manufacturer do? And why is it only NVIDIA? You know? Is it the power supplies doing it? Or is it the card itself doing it? You know? Let me know. What do you guys think on that? That's a huge, huge thing there. I really think NVIDIA just doesn't like to admit that they fucked up and that they don't want to fix the problem. That's just my opinion. You know, oh, we're making all this money. Why not? We don't care. We'll fix it on the next one. Maybe. But yeah, I just think it's crazy. But I am really excited for that little challenge my boss put on me. I think it's going to be a fun one. Boop, 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 boop. You know what? Let me open up PC Part Picker. Not over there. I guess I can just open up here. Seeing that I have to do it anything, you know, I'll do it on screen for Twitch and TikTok. You guys will see what's going on there. No, you're hearing wrong, but you did hear the word challenge. If you were listening, good sir. No, my boss and I got into a debate about CPUs and performance, and is there really a difference in performance in, let's just say, for argument's sake, it's on the Intel side of things, between an i3, i5, i7, and i9. That is the whole challenge behind this. So he wants me to spec out an Intel PC on the LGA 1700 platform, or socket platform, and we're going to utilize DaVinci Resolve video editing software, and we're going to see if the performance is actually better between an i5 and an i9. What is that performance gap? Is there really a performance gap? And what we're looking for here is a marginal of the same or something better. Like, it has to be a good performance gap, such as like a around 9 and higher percent performance increase over the i5. And my whole thing is, when it comes to gaming, you're not going to see performance. You won't see that much of performance increase. You're going to get maybe up to 3%, if anything. And because that all comes down to your storage device. Now, in this scenario, we're going to figure out how much performance it is to essentially render clips. So like a 15 to 30 second clip, how fast does each processor render that clip? You know, is it going to take a few minutes, or is it going to take 10 to 15 minutes to render 15 to 30 seconds? You know, we're going to take all that and calculate it, and then get a percentage of that performance. I also want to throw in Cinebench R23 to get a good read of that, because that puts your CPU at 100% capacity. It puts it into a rendering perspective of that picture it does and sees how fast it is, and then it scores you off of that. So I really want to throw in that as well for this test. But I personally, and I'm in agreement with him, that yes, all the CPUs are the same. They're just not, they label them i3, 5, 7, and 9 depending on their voltage that they're putting out. The higher the voltage, it would be considered i9, 7, 5, and 3 for the lower one. Or vice versa, if I remember correctly. I think it's what I got first time. But yeah, you have to go in that kind of a tier system, and that's how it was created. But I told him, my whole thing is, and I've seen a couple of YouTubers that I really trust and follow when they do video editing, is there is that performance. You can see, to me, I've seen differences on video where someone, he does the exact same build, so, and which is going to be essentially what we're doing. He has the same motherboard, same RAM, same GPU, power supply, same storage. Nothing changes there. The only difference is the CPU itself. We're going to have a cooler for it, so it's going to utilize, each CPU will utilize that same cooler, that same RAM, motherboard, so on and so forth. That way, the test is even across the board. There's nothing that can change performance other than a CPU change. That is what we're going to look at, and I'm really excited to do that. Let me start new. So, I'm thinking about, just because Intel's 13th and 14th gen are been screwy lately, I'll do the 12th. i9, Alder Lake. Alright, so we're just going to do some basic shit. Alright. And they have to have essentially the same gigahertz performance core clock. So, Okay. 2.5 and 2.4. See, that's going to be tough. Okay, let's do that. Ooh. But 0.1, that's nothing. That is nothing. So, I'm going to do... Alright, we'll do the i5 version first. I'm not trying to get the best performance. I'm trying to see what gets better performance. So, I'm going to go with a Deepcool cooler. And then he's going to sell this system too after we're done with it. Obviously to recoup his money because he's putting up the cost. Motherboard. We'll go with pricing. No, you know what? Alright, he doesn't want Asus. We'll go Gigabyte. Obviously, we'll go ATX. We'll go on DDR4. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with this. The Z79 or UDAC, yeah. Memory. We're on DDR5. We're gonna go with $32 gigs. And we're not going to use any of the profiles for overclocking. So everything is going to be bare bone. Storage. Don't need any more than a terabyte. I know he's going to want Samsung. Video card. Video card wise, we can go cheap. There's no reason why we need to go any higher. We're going to go AMD or Radeon. Thank you for joining the Danger Zone podcast for tech. Talk Thursday. Do that. Okay. Case. What kind of case? We're just gonna throw it in a decent case. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, let's go with the deep cool. Do that. Power supply. Don't need anything big. $750 watts. We're gonna go on. We'll probably just do Windows 11. Shouldn't need anything more than that. Let me see what we got here. Switch that over to Amazon. See if they even have this on Amazon. Nope. Damn. Best Buy. Nope. Looks like only Newegg, huh? Fair enough. Amazon. I know we can find this on fucking Amazon. Actually, Best Buy. But why not try to get everything at once? Make it go by faster. And then the case itself, Amazon. No shit. Okay. Okay, let's choose a different case. That would have been a nice one, though. ATX case. You know what? ATX mid tower. Might go, maybe what? Fractal? I can't fucking talk, apparently. No. Nope. Deep Cool, check Deep Cool again. Corsair, Cooler Master, and you know what? No. Where's my Antec? There we go. Antec actually has been putting out a good one. Pretty good ones there. Yes, basic of base. There's nothing there that I want. Can't. Well, I guess we could go. No, not gonna do it. Okay. Okay. But what case? Price range got to be reasonable. We have to be very reasonable with this. Okay, a couple things that maybe just be coming from there. All right. So, I'm going to save as. This one's going to not be private. We're going to save this one as the Switzer Challenge. Okay. I'm going to edit. I'm going to change the CPU. Go to Intel, i9, Alder Lake, closest one. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, you know what? No, he wants to go something close to 4. Okay. No, I fucked that up. Closest one. It's still. Okay. Alright, we'll go with the KF. Alright, we'll save that one. Nope. Thing. Range i9. Okay. Where's that other one? There it is. Edit. i5, Alder Lake. How are we doing, everybody? $600 KF. Okay, there we go. Save as. Overwrite. Switzer challenge. Save. So 3.7. Go to save parts list. So 3.7 is on that one. 3.2 on that one. God damn. Ugh. Okay. Can't do the KF. Unfortunately, can't do the KF on that. See, then it's just a 3.3. 3.3. Save parts list. So 3.3, 3.2. All right, 0.1 is not going to be that huge of a difference, in my opinion. And they're both priced about the same. You know what? I'll log into my Trello. That way, it's on there. Or maybe not. Okay. Nope, all good. I can easily do that tomorrow. I can do that tomorrow at work. What do y'all think, though? Who do you think's gonna win in performance for video rendering? Who do you think is gonna honestly win? Which CPU, I should say, is honestly gonna win? Leave in the comments what processor is going to win in performance, or are they going to be equal? We'll do a poll or something in Discord, and Facebook. But is it going to be equal in performance, or difference? i5 or i9? Which one is going to beat the other? Now, everybody's going to try to point to i9, realistically, because that's what they know. Well, i9 has to be better. That's why it has all that performance. Well, what performance is there? That's what my boss is trying to prove. That there is no performance gain between the i5 and the i9. That is what we're working on. I think, in my honest opinion, I gotta keep an open mind for this, but I think it's gonna be in the middle performance gain. It's gonna be maybe 3% to 5% gain. I would hope during the video rendering that the i9 wins with a substantial, performance gain. So it would have to be at least 8-9% minimum gain over the i5's video rendering score. So there have to be the 8 to 9 minimum percentage increase between the i5 and the i9 to actually show that to him that there is a performance gain just by switching CPUs between the different CPUs. And it's going to be the same generation. The only difference, though, that because you can't get it exactly, so the i5 12600 I'm going with has a 3.3 gigahertz clock speed, and the i9 has a 3.2. That's the only difference. So even then, that 0.1 gigahertz is not going to play much. It's not going to play much. If anything, it's helping the i5 a little bit, if you want to say that. So I'm really, really hoping that there is that percentage gap, essentially, to show that during video rendering that there is the difference. Gaming, I already know for a fact there is no difference between an i3, 5, 7, and 9. There is just hardly any difference. Hardly. You're spending a premium dollar for practically nothing. Practically nothing. Now, if you were to try to tell me a Ryzen, we'll just go with a 5800X compared to a Ryzen 5800X 3D, what performance gain is there? No, there is a substantial performance gain, because guess what? That L3 cache definitely helps out on the gaming side of things. So yes, in a gaming aspect on a Ryzen level with the X3D factors, there is the performance gain. But this challenge is to see if there is performance gain in video rendering. Otherwise, I lose this challenge. I mean, it's not much of it. It's a win-win in a sense for either one of us in our debate, because we both got to keep an open mind. But at the same time, it's like knowledge, winning in the knowledge sense. It's like, oh, I guess I was wrong. That is cool. I now know that this and this do have performance gain in this subject. Because him and I both are in agreement that gaming, there is no performance gain. Unless you get a Ryzen X3D, and that's the only time you can actually tell an actual difference. Now you can't go AMD versus Intel because yes, there is going to be certain scenarios that will be different. Every video game is optimized towards either Ryzen or to AMD or Intel or even Nvidia if on a GPU level. But when it comes to CPU, Intel and AMD they fluctuate. It's what's the optimization? Is it optimized towards AMD? Is it more optimized towards Intel? We have to put these factors in to be able to tell what's going on. You know what I mean? So I can't tell you how excited I am to do this project, and then we'll end up selling this as a pre-built of our own at the shop and all that good stuff. So I really, really am excited to see how this turns out next week. If we get everything by next week. We'll for sure order this tomorrow. Both CPUs and then obviously the cooler down. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a funny and really fun and an educational experiment for everybody at the shop, not just between me and my boss, but between everybody that works there. And because we all have our own opinions in our on how we our point of views towards certain hardwares and what's really getting performance and what's not. Yeah, I think that's really what's there. But again, I think that'll be a great thing to do. And again, I won't be able to go live unless he says, "Hey, I can go live on TikTok or whatever with the phone," and then everybody can see it live. But I really think I'll be able to obviously take pictures. I'll report in on it and give you what the benchmarks and what our numbers are percentage-wise on the video rendering side of things, and all that good stuff. So I think we'll have a lot of fun. I think you guys will have enjoyment out of it if you guys are following me on the Discord and Facebook. If you're not, I can give you that stuff, those links, so you can go like, subscribe, follow, all that good shit. But I think I'm going to be closing this podcast out for this episode. First episode as a podcast, essentially, and live. But I think it went very well. I think we're going to keep doing this as a format for Tech Talk Thursdays. It'll just be straight podcast episodes. And no gaming at all. I think that is the fun thing about it. It's a little bit of something different from my normal streaming schedule, and just keep the weekends for the gaming and whatnot, and then Thursdays be my podcast kind of things, and get people in here to talk and say our own opinions on certain things, debate on things. I think that'd be just a great fun experience for everybody, viewers and anybody else involved. So if you guys need the links to join the Discord, Facebook page, whatever, or need to submit a ticket for the business and you want work done on your computer, which is only right now in the Solano County area and lower portion of Yolo, like Winters and Woodland, and maybe Davis, but mostly Solano County, where I pretty much work and all that good stuff. So, and I do work out of my home, which is why, again, I did the price changes for my pricing and services spreadsheet, which you can find on Facebook and in my Discord. And then, what else can I summarize on that? I think that's really about it, guys. I think it was a good turnout overall. I know I did start late, but that's, again, it's the weekday. I get off work. I don't get home with the kids until 6, and then obviously the wife's also working, and she works an hour and 45 minutes away, depending on traffic, and from there it just, you know, it gets late, and 8 o'clock has been roughly about the time I can usually start. Um, so, and I'm always up and down dealing with either the kids or helping the wife once she does get home or whatever the case is. So I do apologize for the little inconveniences here and there, um, but trust me, it'll get better. It will get better once we get everything into a good motion routine. So thank you all for joining. I will see you all tomorrow for a gaming stream, and um, next Thursday for the next Tech Talk Thursday podcast episode. So, again, thank you guys. If you need the links, message me. I will see you all next time.